Hello and welcome. This video is part of a series I'm doing on my channel related to a multi-day 4th of July vendor event that I just did a few weeks ago. I would consider myself to still be more on the beginner side of doing these vendor events, but I'm starting to cross over into the more regular or intermediate level vendor. And in this series, I'll be sharing some of my stories, the lessons I've learned, my favorite tips and tricks so far, my booth layouts, my displays, basically my blood, sweat, and tears when it came to this event specifically. I want to help others who are around my level or a little below, or those who are only thinking about doing these events themselves and need a little boost. And I hope I help you learn something. So let's get started on this episode. The recap of my latest event. Hello and welcome again, everyone. I want to do a quick sub-intro to this video. So originally episode 2 was all together. I was planning on being one episode, turned into 3 because it was too long. So this is episode 2 part B that we're doing now. So the whole episode 2 together, A, B, and C, was supposed to be about my most recent event I did, which was a 3-day event in July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It was a 4th of July festival that I was part of for the city I live in, city of New Berlin, Wisconsin. And this episode altogether was supposed to be about my experience with that event and what happened all through from the time I knew about it until, the end of the event. So episode 2A, which was the previous episode, I went over kind of my overview of the event, which I'm going to recap again in the next episode, episode C, 2C, because it makes more sense. But anyway, in episode 2A, the beginning of that episode, like 2/3 or 3/4 of it, was like an overview of the event as a whole, and then I started in with like how things went. So the end of that episode was about the very beginning, like finding out about it, how I applied, what all happened there, because again, this is about my whole experience. So I kind of left off from that episode about a month before the event. But in this episode 2B, we're going to go over like kind of crunch time, basically have some footage from about a month out where I left off in the first episode. And then I have some footage from like 2 weeks out. And then I have some footage from like a week out. And I was planning on actually doing like every day leading up to the event, but I stopped at one point because, well, it's kind of a good thing I did, because otherwise I would have had another episode. There would have been 4 of these probably, or 5. So, but I started filming kind of 1 week before and was planning on doing every day leading up to the event, but that didn't happen. So I got like a week before and then like the first 2 days of that. So like a week and then like 6 days before, or 5 days, I think it went up to, something like that. Anyway, so that's what this episode's about, is my prep leading up to the event and all the, the things that I was going through in that time. So then episode 2C, the next episode you're going to see. I crack myself up sometimes. Anyway, so that episode that's coming up next in this series, 2C, is about the event itself. So I did take some footage at the event. There was stuff I wish I would have taken more footage of while I was there, but I didn't think of it or whatever. But I got footage, and I'm going to go through each day, like what happened or whatever. So that's the next one you're going to see after this. But again, this one is prep leading up to the event. So that's what you're going to see in this video. So let's get started with that. So I have started on a few of my items that I'm selling, not very much, but I have kind of already started without filming before I started filming this video. I'll kind of show you what I have very shortly in the video. I've already picked this up a million times, but I have some of these boxes and some of my signs that I have stained, and I need to clear coat them, and then I'm going to paint them on top of it, and then I'm going to clear coat it again. But that has been started, and I didn't film that portion. I also have other stuff. This is a very small pile, if you can believe it, of stuff that I have. I'm going to go around and show you that stuff a little later in the video, what I have, and then you'll see it more in the product video as well. But just kind of wanted to let you know that I have started some stuff already, and for the rest of the time in between this day and the event that I'm doing, which again is about 4.5 weeks, I'm going to start actually working starting tomorrow. So And I'm going to be staining other things, so you'll see kind of how that goes. Like here's, I keep pulling this up, but I have a bunch of boxes here that I stained with different colors that I'm going to be painting. Well, I'm going to be clear coating, and then I'm going to be painting, and then I'm going to be clear coating again. So they have a few more steps to them. But I did the first step. Well, first 2 steps. I sanded and then I stained. But I have more work to do on those. I have kind of a bunch of different things that I'm doing. But my point is that I have started some stuff already, and I haven't filmed that. That's been off camera. So I'm going to kind of show you what I have started, and then you'll kind of see the progress as things go along. So I'll take you around to tell you about that in a minute. Now, at the time of filming this also, I'm actually not quite sure of how much space I have for my booth. I have to email about that. I'm going to do that soon. I'm kind of giving them a little bit of time to send me some information, and if they don't, I'm going to send an email about it. But like the information I have about it is so far is that supposedly it's in a tent. So they have a tent that I'm going to be part of. I don't think I need to bring my own tent to this event. That's how it was said to me, but it's not exactly clear. So I want to clarify that. Like, am I in a tent of yours? Like, I don't have to bring one. And then also, whether or not I have to bring one, how much space do I have? Like, is it the standard 10 by 10, or is it a table space where it's only really like 8 foot wide, or maybe 10 foot wide, but then you don't get like the square space behind it, or you just get that table? Because I hope not, because then I'm going to be in trouble. I'm not going to have any room for anything. I'm assuming it's at least a 10 by 10, but also would be nice, maybe because it's inside a bigger tent, supposedly, maybe I get more space than 10 by 10. Maybe they only have so many vendors and you each get like, 15 feet of space wide or something like that, or 20. Wouldn't that be nice? I would love that, especially for this event, but we'll see how that goes. I have to figure out, because then it'll help me figure out my layout and everything, which is, again, one of the videos that I'm going to make. So I'm going to give a little more time on that, like maybe a week. And then if I don't hear anything about it, I'm going to ask. So then I'll find out how much space I have, what I need to do to display the items I have. And by that point, I'll have more of an idea of everything that I'm absolutely bringing with me. But we'll see. But that's all the information I have so far, basically, other than I am allowed to set up the day before rather than the morning of. So that's kind of nice. I really like that. And also breaking down afterwards. I can actually come back the next day after. I don't have to, even though I'm probably going to take my product with me the day of, or at least most of it. And most day, because it's a multi-day event, I'm probably going to take the most important things with me, because I'm not sure how, it's in a park, and I'm not sure how secure it's going to be. I think to some extent they're going to try to keep it secure because the whole festival's going on. They don't want people in there messing with stuff anyway. But, I don't want to, I'm going to take my money with me. I'm going to take my vending machine with me. I'm going to take, again, the most important products with me, like the most expensive ones or whatever, and then bring them back the next day. But I might be able to keep certain things there and just put everything under the tables for the night or whatever, and then bring them back up the next day. But we'll talk about that as the video goes on. But it was nice because I have the day before to set up and I have the day after to tear down technically. So I don't have to do everything the day of. And it's a 3-day event, like I said, so I can change things around while I'm there. In the morning, I'll have more time to do that. More time to set out my products and whatnot. Well, it's not the morning, it's the afternoon technically, because it's an afternoon to evening event. Anyway, so that's basically what I know about the event so far. At this point, I'll probably learn more things as time goes on, and we'll be able to talk more about how I'm going to set up and everything later on. All right, this was the room I was filming in yesterday, the first part of this video. It's a little cluttered right now, but these were the things that I was picking up. Those boxes, they're stained. There's some signs that are stained under here. As I said, I have to do clear coat on these next, and then I'm gonna paint, and then I'm gonna clear coat them again so they're sealed. So that's got a few more steps to it, but I have started that. This is some paint, and then I have under here, I have the wood and acrylic circular discs that I have that I'm making. Some of them I'm making milestone markers, the baby milestone markers out of it. And I was gonna do a more involved design than I have in the past on those. So that's something kind of small that I'm working on. This was I'm not sure if I'm going to do these yet. This is kind of an add-on thing. So I bought these a while ago. I was going to actually use one for someone's birthday or something. I don't remember what it was, but these are cake toppers. So I was going to paint these and try to sell them. But like I said, that's kind of an add-on to, if I get everything else done, I'll add on to that. These are paintbrushes. Then here, so I have a few of these wood signs. You're going to see more of these in a minute, but these are ones that were kind of, they needed to be glued because they have some issues. And I was going to see if I could actually glue them. If not, I'll probably just use them for practice. But that's why I had them clamped together. I did glue this area to see if it would work. But anyway, so that's that. Move that quickly here. So I have some square wood things like this, and I have more of these circular ones. Now these have these little backings on them. These are going to be coasters. And I have a few of them that are going to be sanded or repainted on the back, and then have the coaster backing there because I had messed up or whatever, or what I originally make wasn't what I wanted to do. So, but these are going to be coasters. So this is like my coaster pile. Started organizing that. Move that. Then I have all these smaller signs, which I had painted an original like base coat on. And so these I'm going to make smaller signs out of. Now again, some of them have paint on them. What I said was a couple weeks ago I was sanding a bunch of this wood stuff, a bunch of the signage and stuff I have, because I originally didn't sand these and they probably needed it. So I sanded them, and with most of them I'm going to paint a similar color on them. I might leave some of these kind of distressed because that's kind of cool too, but I'm going to either paint over them or paint them with a similar color and then paint the words and stuff on them. That is the point. But anyway, I have a bunch of these squares and circles. They're about 5 inches each. The circles actually are the least practical. Like these are pretty easy because you can just stand them up somewhere. But these are kind of hard to display unless you have, this one's really sanded, but if you have it next to something, because otherwise it's going to roll away. So these are kind of harder to sell. But they came together actually as a lot, both of them. So I couldn't just get the squares. Then I have some keychain hardware. Now, we haven't really gotten to this. I think they're actually in here. I had these little wooden tags that were like this big, and they had a circle, like a hole in them. And I was like, what can I use these for? Because I think I originally bought them to try to make like tags out of them for like a gift. But they weren't quite the right size, and it was and I didn't want to use it for that anymore. So I was gonna well, what can I do with them? I guess I could make a keychain out of them. And so I bought keychain hardware. Then when I tried to put it on those tags, it wasn't really working, and the size they were wasn't really great. So I ended up just throwing out the wooden tags because I'm like, I don't know what to do with these, and I'm probably not going to be able to sell them. So I ended up throwing them out. So I have keychain hardware here that I might, now I'm going to have to, if I use it, I'm going to have to buy like acrylic blanks or something to make keychains out of. So that's another thing, like if I have time afterwards, then I can buy some of those and make those. So that's kind of an extra thing that I might make. I'm not sure. So that's that. Then I have here, so these are little wooden bookmark things. So the tags were kind of smaller than this. They were like here, but they were like a tag shape, this big. I'm going to make bookmarks out of these though. So, and I'm also making paper bookmarks. I'm going to show you that later. But that's something I have. Then I have these acrylic hexagons, and I think there's more in here too. Those I'm making magnets out of. And then I have these acrylic rectangles that I'm going to paint and make magnets out of as well. And then these bigger ones, I think were also magnets. So these are all magnets, but I don't have the magnet backing for this yet, so I have to buy that. But I'm going to start painting them. So I have these signs too. These just pieces of wood that I have. I had some chalk paint left over. This one's kind of iffy. I'm not sure about this one, but the rest of them are alright. I painted with, it's a spray painted chalk paint. That's why it's kind of messed up, and that was like the end of the can. But anyway, I was going to make some back to school chalkboards with these, and I was going to add handles to the back so that it's easy to hold up. So that's what my idea was for those. I bought that wood a long, long time ago. I think that was one of the first things I bought because I found like a deal on it or whatever from like a woodworker online who sells that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, I figured out what I'm going to do with those. Um, and I have a bunch more. I only have like 12 painted or something, and there's a bunch more under there. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those. I'm out of chalk paint right now, so I'd have to buy more. We'll see. But that's that. All right, so this is our spare couch. We have kind of a extended living room area, and it's not used very often anyway, but I have these stacked up here. So these are some of the wood signs that I have. Again, some of them I started painting, but I sanded them. So I'm going to paint them over again, and some of them I'm going to stain, some of them I'm going to, wood burn and stuff. So I have different sizes, like these are 12 by 12, these are 12 by 12s, these are 8 by 8s, these are 8 by 10s, I think those are also, and then these are like 11 by 14s. So I have a bunch of those I'm going to be making signs out of. Okay, then over here I have some more stuff. That's my vending machine that I talked about earlier. And there's a few of the extra coal oils I have. There's a few more of these boxes. This one got a little pink for some reason. I'm not sure. I might just use that one for display. We'll see if I can fix that. But anyway, and then I have door hangers, both 15-inch wide and 18-inch. And some of those are left over from my other event, if you recognize, like the haunted home one. This is stuff for my vending machine. So I'll start from here. These are like 11 by 14 plaque type signs. I'm actually not sure what I'm going to do with those. I have to kind of figure that out. These are some trays that I got a while ago. They're kind of like, they're not super good quality. They're just for decor. So I'm trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I might just do flowers on them and hope that they sell that way. But that's that. I bought this the other couple weeks ago. Some heavyweight poster board. So I'm going to make a few posters ahead of time, but also use this maybe for custom projects. Again, that's kind of an extra thing if I have time. These, I'm not sure if I'm using these for this event, but I bought these also. I found these at Menards, if you know what Menards is. Kind of like a Home Depot or Lowe's, but like Midwest. So anyway, these are mirror tiles. So I found these. I never knew they had these before. And it was a good price for them too. So I'm like, I can make signs out of this. It's for weddings and stuff specifically. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I might use them just in my booth as like a sign for me to advertise stuff at the booth. I'm not going to sell these. Otherwise, also, I'm going to use it for wedding signs as well. I'm really excited for those, but I haven't busted them out yet. Now I have 8 of these signs that are a little thicker, and I think they're 8 by 10. I have these signs. So what I decided, since it's a 4th of July event, I think with these, I'm going to make little American flag signs with these because it's kind of the same shape. I mean, I'm going to figure out the exact measurements and stuff for the flag and see if it fits on there. I might have to adjust a little bit, but they're all going to be a little different, a little variety, but in general, the American flag signs. And again, it's 4th of July event, so that's where that's going. Now I have these wood slices as well, which again, you might recognize from one of my earlier events where I had these painted. They didn't sell, obviously. And I had them, I can't show you right now, but they're two-sided. So I painted them on both sides. But I ended up, all of these, the 3 that I made, I ended up sanding the other side. These were all the better sides that I had. I ended up sanding the other side off, and I'm going to repaint it with something else because I had considered doing this already, and then I decided not to do it. I'll explain, I guess, more in a while. But you can see this is like a Christmas one. It's got Christmas lights on it. And the other side, I also had Christmas stuff on it. And someone at the event was like, maybe you should do Halloween on one side and Christmas on the other, or Thanksgiving on one side, Christmas on the other. And I was like, I thought about doing that, but I thought maybe it'd be nice to have, a Christmas thing and then flip it over and have a different Christmas thing the next year where you can have a little variety. But, that idea is good too. So I might do some that are Christmas, or Halloween, and then some that are Halloween, Christmas, some that are like 4th of July and spring, or 4th of July and Halloween, or something, like different ones on each side. So I have 8 of them right now. I could possibly get more. but they're two-sided. So I like, whenever I can, because a lot of these signs I can do this with, I like doing both sides so that you get variety, like I said, or you can use it in different seasons. I like the practicality of that, and I think that's a good value. So that's something I like doing. But anyway, that's all those. Okay, this is really messy, so bear with me. This is my office studio space. I don't know what to say about that. But anyway, so I'll start over here. I have, these are those fans that I was talking about for the free item that people could get when they give me their email. So these are the handles, but I have to actually make the fans. I haven't done that yet. Over here, I know it's messy, like I said, I started cutting out some paper bookmarks that I want to sell. These are going to be like my cheaper items that people can add on if they need or whatever, or, you know, kids might come up and buy them or whatever. So these are probably going to be $1 or $2 each. I'm not sure yet, but I started cutting them out. I have like a craft paper cardstock here for this, and this is watercolor paper, so I'm going to do some watercolor ones as well. So I started cutting those out. I also have more paper up here that I can make more stuff with if I have time. A lot of this stuff, because it's like red and green, I had bought it around the holidays. For my holiday event that I do in December, I'm probably going to be doing more of that. But also red for 4th of July too. I probably need to get some more blue paper, but I have stuff like that there. Then here is some of my ornaments that I had left over, like I said. So I don't think I said this yet on this video, I might be, because this is a July 4th event, doing a Christmas in July type sale with some of these things that are Christmas related. So also some of the signs that I had that were Christmas, anything that has something Christmas on it, I might do a sale on. So if I end up bringing it. Now I do have some blank ornaments that I haven't painted yet, so I'm gonna possibly paint those if I have more time. I might also redo some of these trees because they didn't turn out exactly like I wanted them to. That is my Christmas items that I have ready-made and almost ready-made that I might bring to this event if I have time and if I have the space in my booth. But then on top of that, I have, I didn't show you in there, but I have ready-made, like right size cards that I'm going to be painting as well, because I had said I do greeting cards too. And I have cardstock in there, like I said, so I'm going to make more cards out of that. I probably need to get more envelopes, but I'll have those as well. And actually there is, I don't know where it is at the moment. It might have been under the table in that first room we were in. I have a bunch of acrylic shapes for ornaments too that I could paint if I have time to add to more of the Christmas stuff. Otherwise, it'll come with me to my holiday event, and whatever's left over from this event, if I take them, will go to my holiday event, and I might end up making more for my holiday event. But I'm thinking of doing that Christmas thing in July, so that's something else I have that maybe I'll show you if we get there in this video. Again, excuse the mess a little bit here, but here's another thing that I forgot to show you. I have some of these longer boards that I'm going to use for porch signs. I bought 3 of them. And then I had this, which is an old shelf that we're not using anymore. And I thought I could maybe make something out of it. But when I sanded, it was pretty hard to sand. So I'm going to work more on this. I might make a sign out of it. Otherwise, I might just use it for my booth as a sign for myself. But for sure, I'm going to try to do something with these and make porch signs out of them. And I might get a few more, I'm not sure, depending on how things go. But that's another product that I have. All right, and this is just, I had some footage of me. You can see Assistant Chaz in the background, but I'm doing the clear coat on those wood signs. And then I was going to paint on top and then do clear coat again on them. And there are other things I had to clear coat, but I didn't do any footage of that, obviously. But I have this. And then also, you're going to see eventually, it's going to turn into me painting a few of the signs in white. But obviously, I didn't film every time I did that, so and it's repetitive anyway. So I just thought I'd do some footage of it in there. But also, so what you just saw before this was a lot of the products that I wanted to have done for this event, but I didn't get done. But they're going to continue getting done for the rest of my events. And hopefully I'll have a nice big inventory that I can, bring to events pretty soon here. All right, so from then, I didn't film anything for a while. I was planning on filming more of the process of me making things, but it was really hard to do. I do have some things I did that are going to be in other videos, like the vending machine video and my layout video. I have stuff in there that I filmed, but it's for the layout video. But I do have stuff also that I filmed before the layout video that was the same day that I have in here as well. My point is, a lot of the stuff I was filming during that time was for other videos. So I didn't have a lot until like right before the event. So I filmed something in June. Well, I think I have June 19th. So June 19th is the first time I filmed something in regards to this video to kind of give progress update on what was going on. So I'm going to pop that up on the screen while I'm talking, and I will show you like in-time reaction to it this way. All right, so this was June 19th. Hello everyone. I wanted to do a little update here for this overview video. I know it's been a while since I filmed anything for this video, but I wanted to do a little progress update. So this is, what do you want? 2 weeks to the event that I'm filming this day. So it's starting to be crunch time. I'm going to be filming more often because I have now more stuff to film. Am I? I've been working on getting all this wood painted. I have almost all of my wood done. I have to finish that hopefully today or tomorrow. Pausing real quick. So the wood was what I worked on, between that time and June 19th. So June 2nd to June 19th, I was working on getting the base painted on all the wood. And I ended up I used some of that for what I ended up doing for the event, but I didn't have everything done. I wanted to get more done. But honestly, if I would have got more done, I wouldn't have had enough room to display it all. So, it's a good thing I didn't get enough done. More done than I wanted to get, the amount I wanted to get done, because I wouldn't have had enough, space for it at the event, and I wasn't selling enough to bring more in. Chazzy. Assistant Chaz, here he is. You can't see him right now. I'll see if I can pick him up. Come here. Come here. Where are you going? Come here. Look at the camera. See? This is Assistant Chaz. You get me attention in my booth. Thank you. But you can see how well he does. He interrupts me when I'm filming, and God knows what he needs. Hold on. Jeez Louise. See, this is what he does. Here. You have a cat door. Go ahead. Yeah, okay, go back. Go take a nap. Old man. You have food. But see, he distracts me. That's his job. He doesn't actually help me. He's not a real good assistant. But somehow he wins Employee of the Month every month. And I have, I say that in my booth. That's the one thing he does for me. That's the one thing. But anyway, okay, I think he left. I think he's going to go probably take a nap. But anyway, what I was saying is, so I got the base level. That's what I had spent that time doing, which in hindsight, I didn't have to do. I could have started working on other stuff because I had all this stuff and I didn't end up actually finishing it. But on the other hand, now I have it ready to make for other events and I don't have to do as much work. So, but also, as I was saying, there wasn't as much traffic as I was expecting and not as much purchases going on as I was expecting. So like I said, I was kind of worried about, I need a lot of stuff, but I didn't need a lot of stuff because there wasn't enough, things being sold out and having to be replenished. So it wasn't really a problem. But at first I was kind of I need all this stuff done. Well, on one hand, like I said, I wanted to get more of a variety of stuff, because I focused on the signs, and then I was I have enough time to do that, I think, at the end, and I didn't, the magnets and the cards and the bookmarks and stuff I was going to make for, again, smaller price stuff where if I could have had more of that stuff done, which I should have been spending more time on doing. But anyway, so I spent a lot of time painting the base layers of all this stuff, and I didn't finish. But now it's done for, when I finally do finish them for other events. But anyway, that's what I was doing when I wasn't filming. But anyway, that's what I was kind of this is what I've done so far, and now I'm going to start filming more when I make stuff, and then I didn't. So I'm going to be finishing that hopefully today or tomorrow and get that done this week. All the base is done, and then I can do all the designing
next week.
I don't think I got it
That's
done
my goal.
in that time, but I got
am
it close. But like
a
I said,
little
I didn't
bit
need all of
behind
them
where
done.
I wanted to be at this point, but I'm not bad. I'm looking pretty good so far still. I just wish I had a little bit more done by now. But
And like I said, I had
see
enough.
how it goes. You'll be seeing on this video how it goes.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I've been working on. Also, you see my vending machine is painted back there, so I did that.
I had enough done.
Talk about that more in the vending machine video, but also you'll see a little bit of that in this video as well. But yes, it's painted for the 4th of July. A little festive. So another thing I'm going to be doing today is working on the layout, and I'm going to be talking more about that in the layout video. But for this video, I just wanted to say I acquired the shelf for free, which is cool. And I needed a little more vertical space in my booth.
So about that shelf, I ended up not bringing it, but I still have it as an option to bring to other tents. And the reason I didn't bring it was because I didn't have enough to put on it at the time. And it would have been a little crowded, like in the tent. I'm going to talk more about that in the layout video. It would have worked fine, but it was a little tight. But it was an option, and I got it for free. And I got it from a Buy Nothing group locally. Like I saw it one day, I'm like, oh, that'll be perfect, I'm going to get it. So I got it. I've never actually done anything in the Buy Nothing group until that time, so finally did it. But anyway, so I ended up not bringing it. But I was thinking of bringing it.
Then I bought this. This is a portable bar, technically. I bought it on Amazon. I'll link everything that I have.
We're going to talk about that in the
but
layout
I bought
video
this a couple
and
weeks ago,
the
set it
display
up.
video.
Now I've been using it for storage for now, for my base wood signs. But, you know, eventually there's going to be other stuff in there. But then I have this 6-foot table here. This is not my tablecloth that I'm going to be using. This is a painting drop cloth that I've had since my senior year in high school, because this is my senior year toga that I made.
I actually recently, because I remembered I said that, I found an old picture, 2 old pictures actually, of me in this toga in my senior year. I just thought I'd share that real quick. But I've had that since my senior year in high school, and I've used it ever since as like a drop cloth while I'm painting. So it's got all kinds of years of paint on it. But, you know, I like reusing things as much as possible, and this has served me well over the years. So
back in the day, over 20 years ago now, I'm very old. But anyway, I've been using it for basically 20 years as a drop cloth for like art projects and stuff. So I still have it, still going strong. But anyway, that's not going to be in my booth, is what I'm trying to say. But for now, I'm using it to paint on top of. But anyway, so I have this 6-foot table. And yesterday, I went and bought 2 6-foot benches. So one's going to go on top here, and then one's going to go in front. So I'm going to have like 3 tiers of shelving for my stuff. So I'm going to figure all that out today. Then I do have these tables. I've had those for a while. They're adjustable. I can make them different heights. I'm actually not quite sure in my layout because I've been sketching. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with these yet. I'm going to figure that out today, hopefully. But it'll be easier when I get the canopy put up and everything in the canopy. By the way, yes, I bought a canopy. I bought a canopy yesterday. I did find out that I need to bring my own canopy, obviously. And I'm going to need one eventually for other events I'm doing too, so I had to buy one. But if you remember earlier in the video, you know, my other one was broken, so I had to get a new one. But yes, so regarding that, because I was kind of like, well, is this under a tent? Because that's how it was marketed. Like it was a craft market tent, and that I was going to be part of it. That's originally what they said. And then, like, there wasn't really any information on the application or anything like that about it. It was just the advertisement that said that. So then I emailed and was like, hey, I looked through all my information. I didn't see, you know, this. And I just wanted to clarify, how much space do I have? Do I have to bring my own tent, or am I under a tent? You know, I sent that, I think, early last week. And she took a while to respond to me, but then I got an email like about a week ago, Thursday last week, telling me like more information about my space and everything and where I'm going to be. Yes, I need my own tent, so I went and bought one. and actually, they didn't even tell me how big my tent has to be, but I assume it was the standard 10 by 10. Like I said, the information hasn't been great so far, but I mean, they're not technically like a vendor organizer. It's just like the city, someone who works for the city that's doing this, so she may not exactly know what she's doing. But, not too bad as far as that goes yet. But anyway, I assume I have a 10 by 10 space, so that's what I'm going to be working with. Obviously, I mean, I have a 10 by 10 canopy, so... And I think I can probably use a little bit in front for like signage and stuff.
Just to quickly add, we're going to probably get here when I talk about the setup, but I'll say it now. It wasn't explicitly said like how much space. When we got there to set up, the space was actually longer than 10. It was 10, I don't know what it was technically, 10 by 15 maybe, or something like that. Like, so we had to kind of figure out like, where do we want to put the tent? Like, and I ended up putting kind of in the middle. Because we were the first ones there, which is another thing. But, like, because when we put the tent up, it's like, well, we got space in front and back now. Like, what do we do with it? And I also wasn't sure. They ended up putting a fence behind me, which wasn't there when we set up. So I wasn't sure if people were going to try to come in from the back or whatever. But there was a fence, which probably was another reason people didn't come back there. They had to, like, go around and come to us. So, But... Anyway,
yeah, like I said, I bought a canopy yesterday, so I'm going to be fitting all this stuff in there. I also got a 4-foot table. I got the 6-foot benches. Like I said, I got a 4-foot table as well that I'm going to put on the end of this table as well in different configurations and figure out which one works best. But that's what I'm going to be doing today, is figuring out the layout, and you'll see more of that in the layout video. But again, I just wanted to give a little progress update. That is, I think, all I wanted to say for now, and I'll see you soon with more.
That was, like they said, the 19th. The next time I filmed was the 26th.
All right, it's 7 days to go as of today. I think the last time I filmed for this video was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. A week ago, which was 2 weeks from the event. That's what I mean. And I said I wanted to film more often. Well, I did get some stuff done, just not filming. And I'm going to update you on what I've done. That day was the day that I figured out the layout, so I got that figured out, at least I think. I'll pop up on the screen on here real quick what the layout I'm going with is, at least the day one. I may change it as the time goes on, because maybe it doesn't work, but I thought that that's the one that I wanted to do, and I have a few other options, if I need to. It also depends on, like, how I run out of product and stuff. I can always take a table down if I don't have it, like, anything to put on it or whatever, so then I'll have more space. But... because again, it's a 3-day event, so things can change from day to day, which is nice. Never had that before, but figured out the layout I'm going to use, and I spaced everything out. I'm going to be doing this again. I'm planning on doing it on Sunday, which today is Thursday, June 26th. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when I plan on doing another tent setup. But I'm going to try to do it outside. It's supposed to be hot that day, so I might do it Saturday instead, or Monday. But we'll see how I feel on Sunday. Even if I don't get the tent set up, though, I am going to set up the tables again like they're supposed to be set up. At least. I don't necessarily need to do the tent. The reason I want to do the tent is I have sidewalls from my old tent, the one that got broken, that I want to... put up, because I've never used them before, and I want to make sure I know how to do it other than try to figure it out the day of. So that's something I want to do. That's why I want to put the tent up.
All right, so I wanted to say a couple things. One, the layout. I have more to talk about the layout in the layout video. It ended up being okay. I liked it. Now, in hindsight, I think I would change a few things, but I'll talk about that in the layout video. I did change it a little bit on especially the third day, because I ended up taking some stuff away because I wanted to make it less things there to take back on the third day, but I'll talk about that when we get there. So it did change a little bit. The tent, I ended up not setting up again before we set up on the day of, and I didn't do the tables either, like ahead of time either. So I didn't do either of those things. I wanted to, but I ran out of time. Ended up being fine. Again, like I said, I'll probably talk more about this when we get there, but the day of, my husband helped me. He did set up the tent. He helped me set up the tent, and then I gave him the task of putting the sidewalls up, and I'm like, be careful, because they weren't, it wasn't made for this tent. It was made for my old one that got broken. But he was able to figure out a way to make it work. I think I talked about that a little bit before. But that's why I wanted to do it ahead of time, so we'd kind of know going in, like, what do we need to do? But it turned out being fine. Like, we figured it out. My husband really figured it out himself. I was working on other things while he was doing that, so it was nice to have him kind of, okay, you can do that. And he did a good job. I'm usually impressed by my husband anyway, generally, but, he especially impressed me that day with his attention to detail. And so if you're watching, honey, and you usually watch my videos too, and I appreciate it. Thank you again. I think I told you in person, but thank you again. But anyway, so he did figure it out. There's a couple other things I'll talk about when I get there in the setup portion of this, but he figured out the sidewall. It would have been nice to figure out ahead of time so we knew what to do, and so I was planning on doing, but ended up like, nope, don't have time for that, threw it out. So I just wanted to say that before I continued.
But anyway, so I want to get that figured out so I know how to do it, so I can get it kind of like efficiently planned, which is another thing I've been working on, is trying to figure out efficiency-wise, and I'm going to continue working on that throughout this week in the midst of painting everything and whatnot. I'm going to show you a little bit of that, but I want to get that figured out as much as possible, and then I want to put my layout the way it was that I figured out, and then I want to make sure all my tablecloths fit and everything, because I did get some more from that day when I had only a few, and I'm changing out a few that I had. Actually, I'll show you that in a minute too. I have some things I bought since the last time I talked to you, and I want to show you that included the tablecloths and some other stuff. So is there anything else I wanted to say about today, for the last week? Basically, I'm going to show you, but nothing is really done yet as far as products go, but I have like everything ready to be done. Like, all the bases are done. They're ready to be painted, like the final design on them now. Like everything, all my big wood signs and everything. And then I have other small stuff that I'm going to continue working on. Which I did. But those are kind of, iffy anyway. Like, I don't necessarily have to have those done.
But I should have.
And I can always work on them even like day one, after day one.
Yeah,
like
I thought so.
Beginning, because I'm not there the whole day. I'm not there like the whole daylight hours. I'm just there the afternoon to the evening. So during the morning, I could possibly work on some stuff and bring it with me that day.
No, because I'm setting up that day.
Day 2 and day 3. So I don't necessarily have to get all that done. But we'll see how much I can get done. I'm trying to work on the big stuff first. But anyway, all the bases are pretty much done, except I do have some flag signs. Let me just show you those real quick. Hold on. So I was continuing to work on these this morning. I'm going to continue either tonight or tomorrow to finish these. Obviously, the stars have to be painted on, but I got the white stripes a little straighter than they were because I used tape this time and I didn't use it when I did the red, so it got kind of wiggly. So I still have to touch up some of the white and the red on here, on some of these. But these are pretty much done, but they're not quite done. I need to put the stars on, and then I'm also going to be putting words on these as well, at least on most of them. I'm not sure if I'm doing all of them. But I have 8 of these technically, but 2 right here. But that's what I was working on before I did this video. So I was trying to get all the base stuff done as much as possible so that I can start actually painting designs tomorrow. So, or later today, we'll see. But anyway, that I wanted to show you.
So I'll probably talk about this more in the products video, but those I ended up not finishing, and I spent so much time working on them, and then I didn't finish them. So it's kind of a waste of time. There were just so many complications. I am probably still going to do those as flags eventually, maybe for next year or just throughout the year. Overall, too, another thing I'll say about the 4th of July thing, I had some 4th of July products available, and most of the things I sold were 4th of July related, but like a lot of people, it seemed like, didn't want to buy anything 4th of July related when they were people that were like dressed up for the festival. Like they had some kind of like America shirt or something, like, or like, a headband, or And you would think that they would want something 4th of July related when they're buying it, but apparently not. Like I expected more people to be like, "Oh, cool, 4th of July stuff," and like no one was, and they're there for a 4th of July festival. So I think I focused a little too much on that. But I had other stuff too. It wasn't just 4th of July. I don't know. But anyway, maybe a few of these flags, if I would have got them done, would have sold. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I do, like, they're the perfect size for it, so I do want to eventually make those into the flag signs that I planned on doing. But whatever. But anyway, I'm going to spin you around and show you everything on the other side of the room, which is where everything is right now. I've been trying to get organized. I got lists that I made. I'm going to kind of go through some of those. But I'm going to go through them more thoroughly later in the video once they're all kind of figured out, except for this kind of a running to-do list that goes by day, so that's not really going to be at the end of the video, but other things I'm going to show you later on to show you how I organize stuff. But didn't do that, but I'm going to do kind of that in one of these videos. But anyway, so I think that's all I wanted to talk about here. Let me spin you around and show you some stuff. All right, these are those little lists I was telling you about. So just quickly, I started, not that I'm 100% sticking to this, but I was trying to figure out like which day is best to do which thing or whatever, and I'm trying to do it in an efficient way as possible. So like for instance, like today, those flag signs, I'm not quite done, so I didn't finish checking that off. I never finished those. But for the most part, they are done. I wanted the bases done. They're almost done. I sprayed clear coat on the rest of the stain signs. I did that this morning. The remaining ones I had. So everything that's stained has its first coat of, I still have paint on my fingers, its first coat of clear coat on it so that I can paint on top, and then I'm going to do another coating afterwards. But all that's ready to be painted with a design now. So everything, all my large wood and almost all those flag signs, which is included in that, but the rest of the large wood besides the flag signs are done. Like the bases are done here, some of them here, the brown ones. These are stained. These are door hangers, which are painted and stained. And I got those boxes and the trays and stuff up there. These wood chunks, I did both sides of those the other day. Got them base painted on those. I also have those figured out exactly what I want on them. So that's good. Some of these I don't know yet. So there's more here. I also have more down here in a tote, gray and white. And then I have a bunch of small ones up here. You can't really see them right now, but they're all kinds of colors. And those are kind of like at the end, you know, kind of whatever I want to do. I want to get these big ones done first, the more neutral ones, because I think those will sell better. Sneak peek on that. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But that's it as far as the wood signs go. That has been the most time-consuming thing so far. And now I have to paint designs on them. So I'm going to work on that. Hopefully starting tonight, tomorrow, and then I want all the large designs finished Saturday, like by the end of Saturday, so I can start clear coating them Sunday and get those ready because they have to, you know, sit for a while. None of that happened in time. So that's my big goal for the rest of the week, is focus on those and get those done as much as possible. But most of them I have, you know, an idea of what I want to do, and it's not going to be that difficult. So some of them are a little more difficult though. But anyway. But I was trying to do the more difficult things first to get those done, and then do as many easy things as I could to like fill in. And that was part of my problem. And I got too many of the difficult things done where I didn't need that many, you know. That was part of my problem with time management. Lesson learned. Anyway, so that's what I mean by this list. So I'm trying to get things like, okay, I need that done by that day, so I can do that the next day or whatever. I'm trying to, you know, do that. So again, these might not be followed 100%, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to do things and prioritize or whatever. So that's, just wanted to give an idea. I don't even have anything for Monday and Tuesday yet, but, and Wednesday, which I don't even have on here. But, you know, at least the next couple of days, I got a plan going for what I want to get done. Now today, Thursday, I got a whole lot of things here that I haven't done yet, so we'll see if I get that done. We'll check back in tomorrow. And again, I might switch things around and whatnot, but we'll see how I'm doing as of tomorrow with my checklist. Like I said, when I started filming this, I planned to like film every day and be like, okay, that's what I did keep myself accountable. But I ended up not filming every day. I filmed the next day, and then that was it until like the day of. So, but I also have other lists going on. So I have a shopping list, which all of the things have question marks, so I'm not sure if I'm buying them at all. But these are ideas of things that I might need. And right now, especially with me trying to get everything painted, I don't want to have to go out again and get stuff. So if I'm getting anything, it's going to be from like Amazon, and hopefully it comes in on time. But I've been trying to work on that the last week, trying to get everything that I absolutely need by now, so I don't have to worry about it getting in on time. So here's another list that I have. Checkout stand, the stuff that I want on the checkout stand. So I started figuring that out, making sure I have all these things. Like this check mark basically means it's in the room. And I'm gonna make another list for the day of, so I make sure that I have everything. But right now it's for planning purposes. But anyway, I have most of that stuff in here in the room, and kind of organized. Some of it more than others, but I wanted everything that going to be at the checkout stand, which is this shelf here, these two shelves, and try to figure out where everything's going to fit and everything. So that's another thing I want to do at some point, but I'm going to try to save that for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I didn't end up like practicing to see where everything was. I had to do that at the day of, and you're going to see. The only time, and I regret this too, the only time I took any footage of the checkout shelf the way it was the first day when it was really messy. And eventually I got it more organized, but I never took footage or pictures of it. And I kind of want it so I can like explain what I had down there, but I'm gonna have to do my best to kind of recreate it, I guess. I don't know, but we'll get there. Then I have, so these are setup needs. So this is basically all the big stuff that I need and the tools that I need to put it up. And making sure I have all that ready, making sure everything is ready to go. And like I said, on Sunday, I think Sunday, maybe Saturday, maybe Monday, I want to set this all up again, make sure everything fits, get a plan going for how I'm going to set it up that day, get it done efficiently. So that's what I want to spend that day doing, or the most of that day doing. And I want to do that not necessarily last minute, because I want to make sure, like, okay, I do need to pick something up. I don't have everything I need. So I want to make sure I do that not like Wednesday night, which, next Thursday is the beginning of the event. So I want to try to make sure that I have everything I need, so I want to do that again on Sunday. Like I said, I didn't end up doing that. It worked out. I had things planned enough where, we were able to figure it out the day of. I had enough options available for us to like kind of do things. Like I said, I would have liked to set it up before to make sure we knew exactly what we needed and like plan out how it was going to happen and stuff, but it worked out. Like I said, my husband and I work good together. We're a good partnership, so it worked out great. Then I have a running to-do list of the things I want to do, just like the big things, and basically none of this is done. The tall leaner sign is this thing that I mentioned before, and I'm going to talk about a little bit more in a minute, but that's what that is. I have a check mark, but I'm not quite done with it actually. That's why it's outside the box. But anyway, I have my own little language. But some of these things, like the ones with those circles, are things that I can do. I was looking at this list last night. There are things that I can start on, like sitting on the couch and do, like make these forms. I started doing that last night, but I didn't finish. Make the vending machine sign, which is a smaller chalkboard that I can sit at the couch and do. And then like a contact sheet in case I get kind of old school sometimes where I'm worried that the digital stuff isn't going to work. So I like to have a backup. Otherwise, I'll just like put that in my phone, in the software that I use, which is, I have two, Square and HoneyBook, depending on what they want. If it's a custom order, I do HoneyBook. But if they're buying something, I'll put them in Square, like buying something that day. But anyway, so I have a bunch of forms that I want to make, so I started thinking about what information I need on there and stuff like that. So those are my little lists. Now I want to show you some other stuff. All right, as I said, this isn't quite done yet, but I've been working on this a lot the last couple of days because I want to get this done. Normally I would have waited for the last couple of days to do this, but
I wanted to get this done so I could put sealer on it and have it be like dry and ready to go by the time I need it. So that's why I've been working on this, concentrating on this the last couple days. I don't know if you can see the whole thing. I can't see the camera, but I'm going to show a better video probably if you can't. But what I want to do from this still is I'm going to outline this in white, the arrow part up here. And then I want to put like little yellow dots, like lights. And then I want to do that around the border down here as well. And I have to kind of straighten out this blue and white here, like all over. I'm going to use tape this time because last time I didn't, and I should have. So it'll make it straighter. I have a few little, like, you know, things I need to kind of touch up a little bit, including like right around here. Make this blue instead of white. And then some of the lettering is a little off, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix that. It's because I penciled everything in, and then for some reason, somehow my center got off on down there. So I had to like shift everything over like in the moment from the pencil lines. I had to shift it over a little. So some of the lettering got a little messed up because I wasn't like tracing my lettering from the pencil. I was shifting it over a little bit. So that's how that happened. But it kind of gives it a nice hand lettered quality, which is my whole shtick, isn't it? So it just bothered, you know, I'm sure most people are going to look at this and be like, oh, it's beautiful. But, you know, me, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. But anyway, so I wanted to share this. I'm not quite done. Hopefully, it depends on what I decide to do tonight. I do have it on the list. I want to finish this, but I want to finish absolutely by Sunday morning with all the other signs that I have to start sealing so I can get it sealed and cured in time for the event. But I want to seal it because even though this is all like pretty much permanent paint, it's going to be outside in the elements more than the stuff that's in the tent. And, you know, some of this stuff is designed for people to display outside and some of it isn't, but I still want to seal some of it anyway. But this is going to be out in the tent or outside the tent to lure people in. So I want to seal it so it keeps it, you know, so I don't have to touch it up as much over the years. And so also, because, I mean, it might get dirty on the bottom. So if I seal it, it'll be easier to clean. But anyway, I wanted to show you that.
Yeah, so about that real quick. Another reason why I didn't get more stuff done product-wise is because I was working on that. But that was important to some extent, especially because I haven't gotten here yet, but I think I'd talk about it next. I had some banners that I bought that I wanted to also get done for my tent. And I didn't get those done. So at least I got that done. That was like a form kind of a banner, but not really. But it was in lieu of a banner. Like it's a sign that directs you into my tent. There's an arrow. Like, go this way. So I was working on that a lot, which is why I didn't get as much done product-wise. But I don't necessarily regret having like that. But at the same time, I'm not sure how much it helped me. Like, there were people that looked at it. And did I say this before in this video? Like, I have it right over here. Let me just go get it real quick. I had this up in my tent, and like people would look at it. And then some people, it seemed like, would read the whole thing. But a lot of them would kind of look at it and kind of glance and be like, oh, and then just leave. And then I saw one person in particular look at it and looking at like all this and, oh, signage and banners. Okay. And then left. Like, didn't read the rest of this at all. Not that I had any of this anyway. I only had signs really at the thing, but like I can do these custom. But like she literally said it. She said, oh, sign and banners. And then she left. Like, she read the first line. So that's how that went. But I still love it, and I'll have it for every event after this unless it get ruined, but I'm happy with it. All right, one more video from this day. All right, so a few other things I've acquired since last time we talked, which was a week ago. I have a cart, or wagon cart. I finally broke down and bought one. My dad has one, not quite like this. Mine's better. And I was thinking of borrowing his. But I saw this one, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be doing events more often. I might as well get one myself. and it's a 2-decker cart. I'm not gonna open it here, but I'm gonna show you a little clip of me putting it together, and you'll see it again probably later in the video when I do it. But I do want to figure out like what fits in there together and stuff like that. I want to get, figure out like good cart loads to bring together efficiently again, like I said. So that's something I want to figure out starting Sunday and through the rest of the week until the event. But that's one of the big things I bought. The other thing about this, I ended up using the wagon once, but because on setup day, I didn't say this yet, but we were allowed to drive on the grounds right to where we were supposed to go. So to get the tent and everything to the spot, obviously we could just drive it there, so we didn't need the cart, the wagon. But tear down is when we used it. So like I said, when the third day came, I tried to get as much stuff gone like from the tent as possible. Like, I don't need this day, I don't need this, and I don't need this, like bare bones stuff that we could have at the tent on the third day. And then so we could do it in one trip, which we did. Not that we necessarily had to. I mean, even with the storm thing, like we had enough time where we could come back if we needed to. But set my husband up to take, like, when you come back, can you bring the wagon, like, and then we can get all the tent and everything back to the car, because we couldn't drive on the grounds to get it out. We could have originally afterwards, if we wanted to, come in at 11 o'clock and bring our car in after the grounds were closed. We were allowed to do that. We didn't end up doing that. We only did it the day of, the first day. But anyway, so we used the wagon the last day to cart like all the big stuff back to the car. And then we came back for another load back to the car. And then carried some stuff with our arms too. Also got more paint and stuff. I did paint the base layer on these porch signs as well. And I'm going to keep these real simple. Just welcome probably on all of them, but a little bit different design. I don't have time to, figure out other stuff, so that's what I'm going to do. These are actually king size sheets that I'm going to use for tablecloths on my 6-foot table, which is what you're sitting on right now. And then the bench, if you remember, the bench goes up on top. Or I don't know, do you remember? Was it in the video at all? I don't know. But I'll show you a picture. You know what I'm talking about. But so these will fit better than the tablecloths I have, because those are fitted. So I'm probably going to put that one on still on the 6-foot table, just to have an under thing, just in case things fly off or whatever. But I thought these would fit better. And we're going to find out if they fit on Sunday. That's one of the things I'm going to do, is put these tables together, put the tablecloths on, and see if they go together the way they're supposed to. But anyway, I have those. Then I have, these are actually tablecloths for a smaller table, which are for my small flexible tables that I have that can be different sizes and stuff. So again, we're going to see how well that fits there. And then I also got some banners. I think I have to figure out the way I want to do these. One of them is, let's see, this one is 2x6. I have 2 of these, I believe. Hold on. Yes. So I have 2 2x6s. One of these I want in that space where I said I was going to put another grid wall in the layout video. I'll explain briefly, because that's part of that video. But there was a space where another one of the little, they're not actually grid walls, they're like garden trellises. If I could have bought one more, it would have fit right there. But I looked on Amazon, they're not available anymore, and I can't find one the exact same size. So I decided I was going to put a banner there instead. At least I think. Possibly. It's an option to put a banner there. I might also put a chalkboard if I get that done in time, that I can hang from the tent. I also have a 3.3 by 6 foot one that I think is the one that I'm going to go behind me on the checkout stand. Or it was on top of this. These might be for the behind me on the checkout stand. Now I'm confusing myself. I don't remember anymore, and I didn't write it down. So, we'll figure that out by the end of the video. But one of these I bought so that I could put over the checkout stand and design the way I want to. And then I have a smaller one that I was thinking of using for like on the top of the canopy part of the tent, as you know, my business name and everything, and where you can find me and whatnot on there, like an advertisement that way. So these, pretty soon I want to get painted in navy blue, because that's part of my, you know, branding logo. So and then I want to paint stuff on top of it. So these I'm going to be working on soon as well. By Sunday. I mean, I just have to spray paint them one day. First of all, I don't think I mentioned this before, but I did a real good job of like filming these videos where it was too close. But anyway, the banners, obviously I didn't finish in time, like I said earlier, but I am hopefully going to finish them in time for my next event and events later. I do, that small one I said I wanted in the top of my canopy. That one I definitely want to finish. Then I also have that bigger one that I was going to wrap around the checkout stand. I'd like to get that done at the very least. And then I think one of the medium sized ones, I had two of those. One of them was going to be my temporarily closed sign in case I had to go to the bathroom. But I ended up not making that, which we'll talk about when I get to the day of. Anyway, the other one was going to be, again, either in that space I was talking about or on the back of my tent. And just, you know, more information, another banner of all my stuff that you can follow and stuff. And so I have those. I'm going to focus on the first two, not the middle-sized ones, and get those done for sure for the next, or I hope for sure, for the next event. And then worry about what the other ones are going to be for later. I have some other little things that, you know, I bought since most of it was like paint and supplies to make things, paintbrushes and stuff. But, well, I have like S-hooks and stuff that I got for hanging off the tent. Little doohickeys. Yeah, we'll talk more about that when I put everything together, so you'll see. But I just wanted to give an update today again. I showed you what I did so far today and what I'm gonna do today. Hopefully get enough done, and then starting tomorrow I want to start painting the designs, and I'm gonna film as much of that as I can. If I had more time, it would be easier, for one thing, but also it's hard if you haven't done it. If you haven't tried doing something and then filming yourself doing it too, you know how much it takes extra time, and I don't have extra time. So I'm going to try to film as much as I'm not going to do everything for sure. You're not going to see everything I do, but I'm going to try to show some of like things that are similar with each other. I'll do one of like on camera and then the rest of it not. And then like, you know, other things that are kind of similar, one of it on camera and the rest of it not, which I kind of already did actually with the base coats. I filmed like one of those for each kind of big sign, and then I'm like, okay, the rest of it's the same, it's just a different color. So I wish I could film everything. I don't have the time, and it's difficult. But from now on, I want to do at least a checkup every day leading up to the event. This is the new information I have. This is what I plan on doing today. And then we'll check on the day before, like, did I get everything done? Now I have to kind of move things around, you know, that kind of thing. And then pretty soon, a week from now, is the event. So crunch time, let's go. So on to June 28th now. All right, so it is Saturday now, Saturday, June 28th, 5 days away from the event. I wanted to give an update. Like I said, I wanted to do one kind of during the day today and then maybe at night as well. So this is the day one. I apologize for the background noise. My husband is out cutting the grass, and this cooler that's right in this room likes to make noise all the time. That's why I hate filming in here where I have to talk. But, because then I have to unplug it and then plug it back in. Well, I haven't unplugged it right now, so bear with me if that comes on. Anyway, so I did get a lot of stuff done actually after I filmed yesterday still. I stayed up for a couple hours and got a few things done. And actually made quite a dent in the list that I had. So what I did I did all the layouts for the smaller signs. Again, these aren't final. They're just kind of sketching, trying to figure out spacing and stuff like that. So I'm gonna figure that out today when I paint them. Pretty sure that's what I'm doing today, one of the things. But you know. And this is just the lettering, it's not like any design that goes on top of it. And then I also have two 4th of July themed ones. These aren't finished, obviously, but I did do the red paint yesterday, and I did the welcome this morning. So, and I'm working on the blue part with the stars right now. I don't know if you can see that actually on there. I was tracing this little cookie cutter that I got because I want these to be actually like proper, because otherwise I'm not good at drawing stars. So I did cheat a little bit and trace there, but I cheated on the stripes too because I used tape. So, but not on the lettering, I did that myself. But I have those. I still have to, the other two that I have, the Christmas and Halloween one, I still have to do the sides of these, and I have to touch them up a little bit. That won't take long. I thought about doing that last night, but then I had to get like actual paint out to do that because the paint marker's not really gonna work on that. So I'm like, I'll do that tomorrow sometime, which means today. But anyway, I did that. Then I also, where am I? Well, you can kind of see behind here, I did these boxes. I'm just putting home on all of them, at least the stained ones. The white and the gray I haven't done yet, but the stained ones I'm doing home and then putting a bunch of flowers on them. I'm just gonna make them all similar. Not exactly the same, but similar as far as the flowers go. So I did those. Then I also did these framed ones. The lettering, just again, spacing wise, sketching it out. Sorry. Welcome, welcome. This is our happy place. Stuff like that. Welcome. And then I have welcome to our neck of the woods, which I also did on one of the, if you saw, one of the door hangers. Targeting someone with like a cabin there. It's a common thing in Wisconsin, so it'd be fun. Anyway, that I did. Not much to say there, just stuff I did. I didn't finish all of those things, but I got most of them done. Here's some more. I also did do the white paint on this one that I didn't have done at the time of the video. So I finished all that last night and then a little bit this morning. So for today, well, one of the things I definitely want to do is get at least, can't see, the porch leaner signs that I have, the 3 of them. I want to get the layout done. I want to try to paint them, the one side. So I have side 1 done. Let that dry overnight. And then do side 2, let that dry, and then do the overcoat. Same with these. I do have the layout on these. I just need to paint them. So I'm going to paint those today and get the one side done and then work on the other side. Some of them have something on the other side already, but so it'll be less round 2 because I already got some of them done. But I want to get side 1s done for those 2 things now, today, so I can do side 2 tomorrow and then do the ceiling the rest of the time. There goes the cooler. Thought about doing the trays, but I didn't finish that. Didn't even start it, actually. Yeah, so like those trays and the boxes, I ended up not finishing. I started some of the boxes, but I didn't finish. Like, again, I didn't film every day, but like one of the days leading up to the event, I went and I took those and I'm like, nope, not finishing these. And I took them like out of the room, like get them out of here. I don't want to even see them right now. Sorry, I was interrupted again. I want to get all the, like the odd stuff done, like the door hangers, the porch leaders, these chunks, these boxes, these framed signs, the trays, and those boxes as well. I want to try to get all of that done today, at least the side 1, so that I can work on side 2s tomorrow and then like all the smaller signs as well. And then I said I wanted all the wood stuff done by today at the end of the day. That's not going to happen, but I'm shooting for tomorrow now. Get all the wood stuff done by tomorrow night so that Monday I can start sealing everything that needs to be sealed. So you can see me starting to be like, okay, not gonna happen. Gotta start moving stuff around because it's like my goals are not happening. So, but it got worse as time went on. So that Monday I can start sealing everything that needs to be sealed. Then, well, it's gonna depend on how much I get done today. But I do want to start working on the smaller stuff as well. And like kind of the background stuff later tonight. So if I can get enough of the wood stuff done, like now, within the next, 5 hours or so, 6 hours, then I can spend the evening kind of relaxing a little bit, like on the couch and doing stuff, because I'm getting old and my back kind of hurts sitting here and doing stuff. Especially on this bench on this side. I have a chair on that side. I should probably switch, but actually there was something else I forgot. I painted they're not in here anymore, the flag signs that I have. I did all of those. I have 8 of them. And I fixed all the red parts. There's a little bit of white I have to touch up on, but I'm going to do that when I do the stars anyway, which probably will be today. Hopefully. I can even do that on the couch. That can be a couch thing. And then I had extra red paint left over, which I've been doing along the way. When I have paint left over, I painted these smaller things that I'm going to make magnets out of. Yeah, so I started the magnets. With that. So I did that as well. Just didn't finish them in time. Trying not to waste paint. Because I don't have a way to store it where it won't dry out. So, I've tried things and they don't work. So I try to use all the paint I can. Try not to mix too much at a time. But then, if you don't do enough, then you have to mix the exact same color again. And I'm not, the greatest at that. So, but anyway, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I did the flags as well. So I got a lot done yesterday. So, all right. So I didn't do anything that night. I do have a next morning video, and that is my last video leading up to the event. So here it is. All right, it's now Sunday. I didn't get a video out yesterday. I like how I'm getting more and more disheveled every video. It's Sunday, June 29th now. So I'm 4 days away. Is that right? I'm down to 4. I don't know where my countdown is. I lost. I think it's 4 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I have until Thursday. Alright, anyway, so exciting news. I have something that's completely done. One thing. So I worked on that yesterday. I did the rest of these frame signs, but the rest of them, I didn't do the design around the lettering yet. But I have a bunch of the welcomes, but the lettering is done. And this is our happy place. Got those done. What else did I do? I finished my Visit Trust Design sign. I got the top coat and everything on it. So that's done. Even though that's not a thing I'm selling. But it could be a custom project. I did the touch-ups on these. This one I still think I might do a little touch-up on the colors because I think they've faded over the year. So I'm going to still touch up this a little bit, but I outlined in black. I think I'm going to be sanding them now. I still have to do the sides on both of these. I'm doing something else on there because yeah, almost done. Even at my holiday event, I don't think I'm going to have that. Since I was actually I started with this one since I was doing the trees on here is why I did the trees on here right away because I had the paint out. But I have to finish the lettering on here. But then that should be done. That'll be done pretty soon. Might work on that next actually. That's it there. I started working on the stars on one of the flag signs that I have and I messed it up. So I have to redo that. Those are giving me grief. That's gonna be fun. But anyway, got those done last night. The other thing, I started this morning and got one of these, the lettering done on one of these. So I got this side and this side done the lettering. Now I didn't end up finishing that. On here and I brought it with me the first day. You'll see it in the things on here. But I got the lettering done video, on here. But I never finished it. I brought it to try to finish while I was there. Didn't
That
happen.
probably won't be as bad with side 1 and side 2, especially because I'm using, for the lettering at least, I'm using paint pens instead of paint, so shouldn't be a big deal with time-wise and having to make sure everything's done or whatever. So I'm not worried about those. These I am worried about, though. I gotta start doing these.
Didn't do them at all.
I want to do side 1 and 2, so I don't even have the layout on here yet at all, and I have to paint them. I'm trying to keep them simple anyway, so in theory they're not going to take long to do once I start
They're
them.
right over there. They were behind me, and I moved them for the video. I should have just left them there and even saw.
Set up my tent today. I'm probably not doing that today, at least. I might not do it at all. I'm trying to figure out if I need to or not. Kind of put it low on the priority list right now, so
it worked out.
But I am gonna one of these days figure out the tablecloths with the tables and stuff like that.
Didn't figure that out ahead of time either.
I think the tent will be fine if I don't put it up. But that'll be a day later, a couple days from now, that I do that. Just got to get enough of the product done now, as much as possible, and concentrate on that today. And then I also have to get my banners done. But I'm probably going to wait until tomorrow to do that, so I have more time where the garage is open, because my husband's going to be at work, where I can spray stuff.
And I forgot my husband was off work that whole week.
So
I didn't have the garage open.
I'm working on that tomorrow.
I mean, I could have moved his car, but...
yeah, that's pretty much it since last night, or since the last time I filmed, which was about 24 hours ago, a little bit less. But I did get some stuff done. I also got some stuff done in the back end, so that's good. But other than that, I got a lot of work to do today, so maybe I will come back tonight. It makes more sense for me to do it tonight, so I will do it. Try to get another video out tonight to show the progress so far. But anyway, see you later tonight or tomorrow if I don't do a video.
Or not again. Anyway, so that was my attempt at a pre-event vlog, and like I said, didn't really film anything again until the event. All right, again, so this is episode 2B. There's another one, episode 2C, coming up next week, or depending on when you're watching this, it may already be available. So that one is again going to be about the 3-day festival itself, everything that happened during it, what I can remember. I'm going to go through each day and talk about it, so that's going to be the next episode. Then to quickly recap the rest of the episodes that are going to be in this series, so episode 3, and those should all be one part, hopefully. But episode 3 is going to be about my vending machine, which I don't know if I talked about that in this video at all, but that is something I bought recently, and this event was the first time I used it. But I'm going to talk about my experience with it and everything like that, and kind of give an initial review. And I'm going to do another one later, like months later after I use it a couple times. But that's my initial review of that. So that's going to be episode 3. Then episode 4, I talk about how I planned my layout in my tent, and what I thought worked and what didn't work with what I initially planned. And then I kind of have some ideas for fixing it for the next couple events that I do, and I'm going to talk about that in the end of that video. So that's that. Then episode 5 is going to be about the products that I ended up having and how I displayed them, and I even have a few other display options that I didn't use that I'm going to kind of go through, and then I'm going to also talk about some things that I don't even have, one that I want for the future because I think it might be helpful but I haven't gotten yet, or things that I've seen other people use that wouldn't really work for my event or my type of products or anything like that. It all depends. I mean, it might work someday, but right now it doesn't work for me. So I'm going to kind of talk about those things and what you can display with those things if you make other things than, the things I make, like signs, and eventually I'm going to have magnets and stickers and greeting cards and stuff like that. Right now I just have signs. But anyway, I'm going to talk about all that in that video. And then episode 6, which is the last one I'm filming, in this clump. I'm probably going to have some more as the years go by, but episode 6 is going to be about basically my general tips of like what I've learned over the years of doing these, and now that I'm at a more professional level than I used to be, like kind of transitioning from the beginner to the professional. Talk about things I've learned, and these are things that I've learned through experience, but also things that I've seen from other people that either I haven't encountered yet or I might never encounter, but I kind of want to talk about just in case you encounter them. So that's what that episode's going to be about. Then, like I said, sometime probably early next year, I'm going to do another episode, like kind of a revisit of all this, because I have a bunch of events that I'm doing the rest of this year now. I'm about a month out from my next one. So I have one in August, one in September, one in October, possibly another one coming up in October too. I'm in the middle of that one. I'm not sure if that one's going to get approved or not. And then I have one in December. So I have at least 4 more events coming up the rest of this year that I'm going to have more experiences to add to. And I'm probably going to make a video about in early next year, 2026. So that'll be the next one that comes out, but that's long after this. But anyway, that's what you have to look forward to in this series at this time. Thanks for watching.